All right, next up on the Esports Next official podcast, we have
Rebecca Longawa.
Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining us. Rebecca, tell us about what you do.
So I'm a global strategist in the esports industry. Came from sports and entertainment my entire career. Worked in the NBA for a very long time,
Awesome.
and within the esports ecosystem, I work with investors on finding innovation and tech startups to invest in. I work with some of those startups to find investment, and I also do global partnerships on a variety of projects.
Fantastic. So you started in the NBA, and then from there, did you find out about esports? Were you given a special opportunity, or how did that come about?
Well, actually started with an advertising agency running FedEx's sponsorship of the NFL and kart racing.
Nice.
So had agency experience. I through working with some of the agencies in the Minneapolis area where I live, I've worked with clients like Lakeshore Entertainment, Orlando Magic, the NBA, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Lynx, and had a great opportunity with the team at Minnesota Timberwolves and the Lynx to come in and help them on some special projects, innovation, and brand strategy. So from there, I worked directly with some athletes. I produced a show with Aura Television, Larry King's network when he left CNN.
Hey,
Whoa, pretty cool. So I did a show for 2 years with Jesse Ventura, former pro wrestler and Minnesota governor.
Jesse Ventura. Yeah, awesome. The
And
guy who brings the schnitzel.
he brings a lot of energy.
Did he bring any schnitzel?
No,
Or no? Okay,
no.
that's cool.
He likes ham sandwiches with Miracle Whip, not mayonnaise. So if
That
you
is
ever
a
need to make some notes,
That's a fun fact to know about Jesse
yeah,
Ventura.
very
I know
fun.
he's a wrestler as well. I'm big into wrestling.
Yeah,
You into wrestling at all?
phenomenal guy. I actually just watched wrestling at the Taste of Minnesota on Saturday before I got into town.
Oh,
It's
nice.
pretty fun. It's like amateur pro-am wrestling.
Awesome.
So that's a lot of fun. But I got into esports because, really kind of being at the cusp of different layers of innovation over the past, 20 plus years. I've, really have seen a lot of transformation of sports technology and how it applies in the sports and entertainment industry. And I'm an advisor for Stadia
Yeah.
Ventures. And we started seeing esports properties coming and pitching to us with their ideas, and that really got me interested in learning more about the industry, doing research on that because it was cutting edge, because it was just an emerging, sport here within the United States.
Yep.
And I had a great opportunity to work with the Minnesota Rocker and the Minnesota Vikings ownership group on monetization strategy for Rocker, and then that turned into version one, as well as a parent company. And yeah, I've just kind of been rolling with it from there.
I love it. That's fantastic. What a story to come up. How did you get into the NBA? Like, where did you start off, like, career wise?
So they were a client of ours at Space 150, which is a all digital agency in Minneapolis.
Cool.
And I just built really great relationships with their CMO at the time, Ted Johnson. He was really in charge of everything marketing and innovation. And together we were just able to work on some pretty great initiatives and projects that were just, really advancing the industry with our two franchises.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So being from Minnesota, are you a Prince fan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. I
I'm
love
not really I'm not really big into music or
not into music.
television or things. I mean,
Just
I listen to
mainly
music,
sports.
but
Sports, esports.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Prince. So anytime I talk to someone from Minnesota, I ask them about Prince because he's my guy.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's everyone's guy out there.
it's pretty iconic.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a lot of buildings that have, paintings on the entire brick front.
and Paisley Park is down there somewhere. I've always wanted to.
Paisley Park is there. I actually was very blessed to work on a lot of production projects at Paisley Park. I've been able to
Really?
meet
You've
him a
been
number
in?
of times.
You
Um,
met Prince a number of times?
Yeah, yeah. He's very well known, or he was very well known to throw invite only late night parties. So you may
Of
have
course.
gotten a call at 2 or 3 in the morning to get there.
I would answer everyone.
And then he would throw these amazing private parties and concerts. He lived he lived at the studio. He lived at Paisley Park.
I bet.
So no, truly, that was his home.
I know.
So it was a really cool environment to be in.
Yeah, well, can you paint the picture of what one of those parties would look like? I know they're very eccentric. I could see him throwing a party and him not even being there as the kind of guy, or but
No, he
he's
was
always
always
there.
there. It was more of like a private concert type of a setup. So you'd come in through the big front doors, kind of turn around, like go in to the right after the check-in desk or whatnot. He drove, I think, when the Minnesota Lynx won their first championship, he had us bus to the venue and did a private party overnight with the team and staff.
Man,
So I mean, he really loved basketball. I mean, I don't know
yes, he
how many
does.
people know that, but Prince was really big into basketball. So
Yeah.
he was he liked to be behind the scenes. He didn't really like to be super visible, but he did a lot. Kevin Garnett has a lot of really great Prince stories about these late night parties as well. But you'd go into the big studio.
Yep.
It's a studio stage.
Like live area. I
Yep.
think I've seen like pictures or videos of it because I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with
I mean, the ones that I went to, there was no seating. It was just, walking around, hanging out, listening to music, people dancing, pretty vibrant, pretty fun.
that's
Very, very late to early morning adventures,
I
I guess.
bet, yeah.
Yeah.
Eh, So what were some of the interactions with Prince like? Because I hear he's very like enigmatic and it can like the Prince stories that people have are always awesome, like whenever they interact with him.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, the times that I've met him were usually when I was being booked to produce something
Okay.
at that location. So he would be kind of around in the shadows. So it might be a very quick hello. And then I am not a starstruck kind of a person. I've worked with talent my entire career since I was 19 years old.
Fair enough.
So I'm not really the fangirl. I've never been the person to try to get my moment with somebody.
Yeah,
If they come over and say hello or, want to ask a question, then I'll make myself available
I love it.
for that.
And
But
that's how you're afforded these opportunities because you're cool with it and then people know you're cool. So that's amazing. But yeah, what kind of things are you working on right now? What do you have planned for the future?
yeah, so some of the things that I can speak about, because a lot of the projects that I'm working on
Yes.
are they're usually funded but not public. So I do a lot of global infrastructure. I'll say
Nice.
that in emerging markets, and very excited about really merging physical spaces with innovation and technology.
Nice.
That's kind of on the come up. And building communities is important to me from a partnership standpoint. I think community drives so much. So I do global partnerships with the Gamers, and that's a really vibrant community of femme identifying women gamers that is nearing over 1 million community members globally. So really focusing on how do we leverage that community to to brands in a way that is authentic for the community, but also allows the brands to really kind of evolve their gaming and esports strategy to reach more women. I think a lot of people don't understand that nearly half of all gamers are women.
Of
Um,
course. Yeah.
and a lot of times they're kind of left out of the brand stories and the narrative within the space. There's a lot of misconceptions about the 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 landscape of the cohorts within the ecosystem. People think about the youth and they think about students. They think about the 25 to 35 men, and women are lost a lot in the conversation. So I work really hard on making sure that women are a part of that conversation. But I think the long-term success would be that we wouldn't need to create isolated safe spaces for women to game together,
Yes.
right? Um, I think the long-term trajectory would be having a better balance. And I think that really starts at home with young children and in their families to ensure that there's some education around just how to be good people, kind people, and how to treat each other online.
Yeah, I love that. I know about the gamers. I actually hosted it was a like a tournament for women in gaming, and the things that they go through that people don't talk about enough was like the bullying online of women, which is just shouldn't be that way. So
Yeah,
it's good that like people like you and other people like recognize that and are pushing that forward because
right.
the women in gaming are like just as talented, if not more talented, than some of the men in gaming. So it's like they should be at the forefront. And what kind of things are you hoping to see within the space that will push it forward?
You know, I'll make a comparison to the WNBA. You take a player like Caitlin Clark, and the way that she was
Yeah.
able to advance at such an intense level is because she is a little sister
Yeah.
of brothers who are extremely talented and included her.
Yes.
And iron sharpens iron. So the more that women and young girls are able to have a seat at the table or at the PC, so to speak, and play with and against the top boys and men, then the more we're going to churn out talented women within the space.
Yeah.
I also think, there's layers within women in gaming. You have the competitive talent that are very much focused on, being the best. But I'd be remiss not to mention the women who are, working on being streamers and variety creators
Yeah.
as well. So a lot of times that has more to do with, personality and making sure that those women can authentically be themselves, and there's layers to that depending on each person's individuality. So I think more women need to be able to come as they are and be
Yes.
truly authentic. And if a woman chooses to, maybe be a little bit more hypersexual in the way that she carries herself or beautifies herself in certain ways, that shouldn't be shamed. Um, and also, I think if a woman chooses not to do that, I don't think there should be any set expectation that she should look a certain way
Yeah.
on camera as well.
Yeah, you should be able to just be who you are, and whatever works for you is great. We don't need one type of like female in gaming. We need it at all types to
Yeah.
embrace all different types, because then one girl might connect with someone who's not like herself and might connect more with someone who is, or like vice versa. Like it's important to have that variety of different women in gaming and have their voices heard.
Yeah, and I think what happens oftentimes, it's happening right now in the WNBA. I mean, Caitlin Clark deserves the attention she's getting, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And, you know, Amarath and Pokimane deserve the attention that they're getting. But when the only media and brand attention that you're seeing in terms of a partnership strategy are on just a very select handful of individuals,
Yeah, yeah,
then there becomes a public perception that that is what everybody should look like or everybody should be doing. And there's varying degrees of talent within the
yeah,
industry. Yeah.
totally. And yeah, no, it can only like grow from here, and I hope people like get over their misconceptions of what that should look like. And
Right.
I'm sure you're doing everything you can to like make sure that that is not the perception, so everyone can get in on a space that should be like a level playing ground, and it should be based on like whatever you are good at and whatever drives your image, and it should just be an open space for everybody.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
exciting. So there is an award show. I can see you're all
There is.
dressed up. Are you hosting
Yes.
the award show?
I am co-hosting with the illustrious Charlie Conroy.
Oh yeah, Charles.
Yes,
My
sir.
guy. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
So
so yes, I'm in costume. So
costume. Awesome.
apologies to the kids at home watching this
No,
view of
that's
my
just fine.
revealing dress. Yeah.
That's okay. No, you look fantastic, and yeah, I'm excited. What kind of awards are you giving out tonight?
Oh man, we've got so many great awards. We've three separate innovation awards. As we know, innovation is huge within the esports
Of
landscape.
course.
Education, leadership awards. We are inducting. Charlie Conroy was our first Hall of Fame inductee
Yes,
last
he
year,
was. I was there.
and really super excited about that. And this year we are inducting our second. Um, Hall of Fame member into ESTA. So that will be kind of the culmination of the event at the end of the evening. So
Fantastic. And is that at the sneaker soiree, or is that the end of
correct.
the
The sneaker
fantastic?
soiree is really kind of just built out for people to, dress your best, but also be comfortable.
Yes.
And bringing everybody together in a really fun way. You see a lot of the same faces again and again when you get together at any type of a gaming or esports
Yep.
event. So being able to get dolled up if you want and throw on your favorite pair of sneakers and show off a bit is going to be fun. But the event is really how do we recognize the game changers throughout our community and the people who are really moving the needle forward for the entire industry, and doing great work.
That's amazing. So, if you could do anything in the space that you're in, you had all the resources that you needed. What kind of things would you create for, women in gaming, or what kind of things would you do?
Not necessarily for women in gaming per se. For me, I think, um, for me personally as a strategist,
Yeah.
I would love to be able to build out opportunities for more. Um, More communities, more startups to be able to have a larger presence through building out, Fortnite universes and getting into really unique Minecraft worlds. I think there's a barrier to being able to produce that type of high level publisher integrations
Yeah.
within games. But the more that we can create those spaces around distinct communities and groups, I think it's going to really increase connectivity and engagement.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see how that all goes down. I'm sure you'll be a wonderful host. Is there anything you'd like to plug here today or
No,
talk about? No.
no, just ESTA. We're having such a great time here,
I love it.
meeting some new faces, catching up with a lot of old faces and old friends, and but while making new ones, which is always phenomenal. And if any listeners here have never been to an ESTA next, we're going to be doing it next year as well, and we would love to invite you into the community. It's a really warm and welcoming tribe of people.
It is. That's one thing that keeps me coming back is it's not just like the great opportunities that are here, but it's the people who are like-minded and they see the potential in this. And no matter what, the public perception of it is, we know there's always a way forward and there's ways to innovate. And it's very on theme for tonight and exactly what we're going to be doing at the award show. So thank you so much for being here. It's been
Thank
wonderful
you.
interviewing you.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you co-host the awards tonight.
Thanks. I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to it. Take care.
Thank you.